So you had mentioned a couple weeks ago. Let's start the show.
Yeah.
Let's start the show.
We're in it.
Okay.
We're deep in the shit.
So we're going to talk, just to get this out, we're going to talk all things LA fires and Trump taking over the world. We're going to talk Mark Zuckerberg. We're going to talk all those things. But I have to start with, you mentioned a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, about some dude who was a theologian who had an interview with Billy Carson, right?
Yeah, Wesley Huff.
Wesley Huff.
Did you listen to his thing on Rogan?
So I did. When you mentioned it, I'm like, cool. I'd like to know who that was, what that was. And I didn't give it any more thought after that. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
So then I watched Rogan, and then he was talking about it. And I'm like, oh, this is the guy Steve was talking about. So I listened to Rogan's whole thing. Then I went and listened to the interview, which isn't easy to find, by the way.
No, because Carson's trying to have it scrubbed.
Yeah. So anyway, but the guy that originally posted it, anyway, it's out there. So I listened to that whole thing. And then I listened to Wesley Huff on his podcast talk with his other guys about that, how it went down. And then I listened to...
Wow, you went way deep on this whole... I like it.
This is an entire day of my life, by the way. And then I listened to Billy Carson. So it's not up anymore, but people have spliced together some things. Apparently, he did a 3-hour rebuttal to Wesley Huff, but I guess he took it down. And
Carson's did a rebuttal to Huff?
Yeah, and Wesley Huff was saying that, he's like, before I would give Billy the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe he had just not dug deep enough. He had a surface level knowledge of this thing. Maybe he was misled by other people. He's like, but now I know that he's just completely willing to make things up.
Yeah.
He went on and said that Wesley Huff was part of a RICO investigation. He's been paying people hundreds of thousands of dollars to like...
The 33-year-old theologian student.
Yeah, who's been, paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go after people.
Come on,
go
Billy,
after
you're
Billy
better than
Carson
that.
personally. And Wesley's like, my wife looked at me. He's like, what a waste of money. You spent all that money going after Billy Carson.
Yeah.
He's like, so he's just completely willing to make things up. And he went on with some other wild shit. I wish I would have wrote it down, but I was driving. Like, Billy Carson is a fucking con man.
Yeah. I listened to the full Wesley Huff Joe Rogan interview, and I thought it was awesome, dude. I thought it was great.
Yeah. So once I saw like, oh, this dude's a legit expert, and then I went and watched. This is exactly what I wanted from the moment I found Billy Carson, because I don't know enough to dispute what he's saying.
Because he makes some fantastical claims that you're like, holy shit.
And it sounds super cool. I'm like, wow, that would be amazing.
It's entertaining.
But like I told you when I listened to it, from the very first time I heard him, my bullshit meter was pegged.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know enough to say you're wrong, but someone's telling me you're full of shit. And then Wesley Huff, very politely, very cordially,
eloquently,
told him you are full of shit.
Yeah.
And Billy's like, oh, okay, that's fine. That sounds great. But what about this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this? And he's like,
I like it when he goes, oh, you're talking about the ancient Codex Sinaiticus or whatever? And he's like, I got it right here on my shelf. And he turns around and grabs it off his bookshelf. Like, who the fuck carries ancient Codex?
Yeah, you see this papyrus thing I have on my shelf here? It's like, I made that when I did that. So, like, this dude has a depth of knowledge far beyond what Billy Carson was saying. Billy Carson was mentioning certain texts, how Jesus Christ was never crucified, and that's what it says in the Sinai Bible. And Wesley Huff goes on.
And that was like the Zechariah Stitchin.
Yeah. He goes on to all kinds of things. And then Billy keeps trying to bring back, well, what about this and this? He's like, well, that is considered widely by everybody that knows anything to be a forgery.
Right.
Like,
well, and the cool thing about the Rogan interview is he actually breaks down like how they decide what's a forgery and what's not.
Yes.
And he's like, when he starts talking, he goes into these processes. Like, you can tell this dude is fucking educated.
Yeah,
like
big time.
And Rogan breaks it down very well, kind of in the beginning when they start talking about the battle that they had. Like, if you're an expert in something, like you wake up from a dead sleep, rub the sleep out of your eyes, and you can talk about it factually. Well,
because that was one of the things that Billy Carson was saying, that he was, number one.
I must have misspoke. I must have misquoted.
He was ambushed. Number one, he was ambushed. There was another thing. They used AI to do some deep fake type things.
Oh, is that what he said?
He said, just before this, I was sick. I was just fighting to stay alive while I was on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
And I was tired.
Even though he knew about it in advance and the whole deal. Yeah.
And that's why Rogan, this dude is
his buddy's the one that set it up.
I guess their wives are friends. They live in the same neighborhood.
Not
he
anymore.
was in Billy's wedding. Their kids play together.
Not anymore.
So he was not trying to ambush Billy. He's like, I was giving Billy what I thought he wanted. He keeps saying all the time, no one will debate me.
Yep.
And then he let him know that he was coming on. And anyway, so Billy goes through all that shit trying to discredit them. And like, dude, you're just full of shit. That's why Rogan says, like, I'm an expert in very few things, but the things I'm an expert in,
I'll talk to you about any time of day.
He said, you can wake me up out of dead sleep, give me a couple seconds to rub my eyes, and they're like, oh yeah, they're like, that's wrong. Like, if you're an expert any time of day. So that dude is a fucking scam artist.
Yeah.
And
con man.
He mentioned one thing that got me. And he was talking, Billy Carson, in the interview with Wesley Huff, he was saying something about traveling all over the world. He's like, yeah, I spend like 8 months out of the year traveling. Like, you know, I leave my big mansion here and I have to go travel like in hotels and stuff.
Billy says that?
Yeah. Like, your big mansion, huh? Like, oh, you're a fucking con man.
Yeah.
Like, you're just scamming people out of money. Like, not that getting money from your expertise.
No, but he's flaunting it. He's
He's a fucking con man.
Yeah.
So fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy, dude.
Fuck him.
Fuck him.
So, I still thought it was all entertaining up until that point. I think everything he said was so fantastical that, you know, like we had said, your bullshit meter was pegged, but there is a level of entertainment value to that that's hard to dispute because you don't know. We don't read, you know, the Emerald Tablets or fucking whatever, Emerald Scrolls.
It would make a great movie.
It would make a great movie. However, I think the entertainment value, for me personally, and you know that, like, I really liked the Billy Carson things because I thought it was entertaining.
I did too.
It was another vantage point. The entertainment value with somebody who is actually a expert in the subject, battling him back and putting him in his place, I find the entertainment value of that more so than what Billy was doing.
Yeah, and Billy was trying to say, it's like, well, let's not talk about this anymore. That's like 1% of everything that I'm saying. And Wesley Huff brought the point. He's like, I don't think he got what this is in his rebuttal thing. He's like, I don't think that he got what I was saying there. It's like, I was saying that I kept going back to these things because you're so incredibly wrong over here. I can't listen to anything you're saying over here. I'm not
automatically discredits all that.
I'm not an expert in what you're trying to say over here, but everything you're saying over here is wrong. And so many things that he says biblically, he bases a lot of things that he talks about on biblical text. Yeah. And if you are so incredibly wrong there, I can't believe any of this other shit you're saying.
Right.
That's what he gets. Like,
yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was glad I had a chance to listen to that.
If you care to listen to, let's see, you won't find Billy Carson's rebuttal anymore, but that was 3 hours. Wesley Huff's thing on his podcast was about an hour 20, I think. So there's 420. And then Rogan was what?
2.5 to 3.
Yeah. So you're going to invest 7 hours of your day listening to this. Worth it.
But if you're homesick,
you
get that bug that's going around.
Or if you're at the fire station, just plug in your earpods all day and walk around and listen to that shit.
Yeah. Ignore everybody else around you.
All right. Had to get that out of the way because it's top of my mind.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad you brought that up.
So anything else happening in the news?
The biggest thing right now is going to be, you want to stick with Rogan deal or you want to go to the fires?
We can go. I mean, we are going to talk about the LA fires. Yeah. It's fucking huge news.
Since we're talking about Rogan and Wesley Huff, let's talk about Rogan and Zuck.
Okay.
So, I think when we first saw it, and this was probably maybe a week ago because I was off a shift.
Did you get the video of what he was saying? His
apology.
Not his apology, but this is meta going forward type speech.
I think I did add it in there. Let me check.
Adam, I've got
this one here.
A4. Yeah, play this so people can get a primer.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something.
This is before he went on Rogan.
Yeah.
So he makes this big mea culpa speech here saying we're wrong.
So I saw this and I came to you and I'm like, dude, did you see this? And I think you had just seen it or you'd seen it like maybe a few minutes before I did, but this is kind of what kicked it off.
Yes. So I had to go back and like take everything with the Rogan interview with a grain of salt after watching this because like, okay, you just trying to promote that, hey, I'm back. Like we're different now. We're right wing.
Important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression.
However, 5 years ago, you were still censoring people, even though you gave this speech of how important it is to protect.
Yeah.
But okay.
I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political. But there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly.
You don't think those things are bad, Adam?
A lot of complex.
I think Mark Zuckerberg's full of shit.
I thought you were saying those things weren't bad.
If you can't see Adam, he was making the...
Man, fuck this guy.
Adam's a big proponent of
Child exploitation.
Joke. That is a joke.
Yeah.
Systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes.
Is they're complex.
Even if they accidentally censor
that's some Kamala shit.
posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections...
That was it.
Okay. That was his primer for why he went on Rogan.
Yeah.
So go ahead with what you're saying.
No, it's funny because I don't... You know a lot more of like the meta background, the meta history, like up until now with some of those things, political things, everything that they went to the House Oversight Committee for. You're more well versed on that than I am, but it's funny because I think you asked me. We were at work, and I think you're like, "Hey, what'd you think about that?" And they're like, "Well, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. We'll wait until." And I did listen to the Rogan interview, and I think you asked me like, "What'd you think about that?"
No, I was listening to it in the gym, and I told you like, "Hey, you got to listen."
Oh, okay, that's what it was. I can't remember. Like, you're like, "Why do you think he's coming out and doing that now?" And I was like, "I think some of it's because Trump's taken office, and I think that they've notably been supportive of the Biden administration." Now, in that same interview, he comes out. I think it's in that same interview, or maybe it was the Rogan one or something prior, but it might have been a different interview. But he talks about how they were almost strong-armed into doing things for the government, or they would have been penalized, or you know what I mean? Like,
right.
So he comes out to say these things, but is that just lip service because there's a new regime coming in? It just, it sounds genuine, but when you look at the track history, it kind of seems disingenuous. Like, it's hard to tell really what's real.
They started some hardcore censorship around 2017. That's when they started getting pressure after Trump was elected, the whole Russia
collusion deal.
The Russia collusion after Brexit. Like, that's how that thing all happened, because of a lot of social media sharing, things like that. People were getting their opinions, their news, their facts from social media, and the government's like, whoa, we got to get a handle on this.
Yeah.
So who are we going to censor? Oh, let's censor the place where everybody gets their information. We are already able to control the mainstream media. We can already put our fucking agenda out that way.
They're already doing it. Yeah.
Exactly. That works. So let's go after social media. And then they went after Google and Facebook. And then, to your point, if you are trying to operate this business, it's your livelihood. You're in charge of other people's livelihood.
Sure.
You might do what you have to do to stay afloat, right? You think that, okay, it's not quite violating Americans' rights. Like, maybe it is misinformation. Maybe I do need to do this because maybe the government's right. Maybe this is bad information that people are getting out there. Maybe it is going to harm the country. So, okay, we'll play along. And then, like he was saying, it got out of hand. Like, he started seeing that they're censoring satire.
Yeah.
Like memes. Like, they're censoring memes.
Yeah.
And his words, Biden's people were calling and yelling and screaming at my people to take things down. What do you think that does to a company in their management? Like, holy shit, the U.S. government's coming after us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was dragged in front of Senate
huge fear tactic, right?
Exactly. They're like, oh, you don't want to play ball over here? Well, maybe we just haul you in front of a Senate Oversight Committee about
just grill you
about
over
child trafficking.
Yeah.
And he does make some good points in there, which I hadn't really considered, about how hard it is to censor the bad things versus the good things. And like, okay, what does censoring 1% do? Like, okay, that's 100 million people we just censored, or posts we just censored. He's like, censoring 1%, like getting it right 99% of the time is considered really good in most things. But over here, we just censored 100,000 posts because we got it wrong 1% today.
Well, and the way he explains it, and you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, it shined a pretty good light on it for me, and I think I understood, but I didn't really put it in the same perspective as when he said it is. The censorship comes from an algorithm that they put together. And so if they're going to censor, how strict is too strict? Do you want to cover, like you said, do you want to just let 1% through or censor 1%? Because that's still, of a billion people, it's a million or 100 million or whatever.
It has to be an algorithm because there's so many. It can't just be you.
Right. There's not one person checking each post. And so what's your error of margin that you're acceptable with? Are you going to ban certain people for a joke that the algorithm thought was real, but you did catch everything? Or are you more lenient and now the serious shit slips through? Now you're 80-20, where 20% of the bad shit is caught, but 80%, some of it's getting through. I mean, where is the fine line? And I get that.
I do too. And It's like you said, I got it, but I don't think I thought about it at scale. Like, oh my God, my fucking joke got censored. I'm shadow banned. Right. Like, okay, nobody.
YouTube caught our song on that video again and fucking banned us.
Like, no, okay, I get it. It makes a lot of sense. It's not necessarily Mark Zuckerberg there saying, no, fuck John.
Right.
But it does get problematic when you're actually trying to have, you know, open discourse in a society, especially when you're talking about things that affect everybody. You can't just shut that conversation down. So I like what they're doing now. They're switching to more X moderation style, where you can,
community notes.
Community notes. You can post everything, but like some
you're going to get fact checked by people in the community who can post the rebuttal and actually prove it.
Do you see the fact checkers fact checked him false after he said something along the lines of, like, hey, you know, it really wasn't us. It was the fact checkers that were being the real problem and everything. And then the fact checkers published a fact check false on that statement.
Funny.
That's great. The best fact check I've ever seen, I think I mentioned this the other day at the table. The best fact check I've ever seen is some lady put out, it was some Hollywood lady put out a post about, I don't know, everybody's fawning over Sydney Sweeney. It's like her breasts aren't even that big. Fact checker said, yes, they are. That was the community fact check. Yes, they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I thought it was pretty interesting, that interview. I mean, you still go back to, and it's funny because I read this. I read through the comments to kind of see to kind of get both sides, and so you have him up here, and he's like, you know, screw you, government. You can't tell me what to do. But then he turns around and does exactly what they tell him what to do. I guess I didn't realize this at the time, but he mandated that everybody in his company get the vaccine, even though there was all this misinformation about the vaccine. I didn't either. So, and they were censoring.
Is that real?
That's what it said. So, and that was in the fact check community deal. Apparently there was the mandate there that everybody gets the shot. He donated $400 million to the Biden campaign for re-election. Yeah. So it's this, you're censoring us. And again, it could have been, you know, they're afraid of the government.
It was for his first election, not re-election.
Oh,
right?
okay. I thought it was re-election.
I'm pretty sure it was his first one.
Okay. So, you know, but now he's saying, but rest assured, we're going to get this right. We're going to go back to being, you know, and part of me wonders if it's because there's a new president taking place, a new regime, but also like, what's the status of the other social media platforms? Like you look at X, and X is, for all intents and purposes, more pro free speech, and people can argue that.
Unless you talk bad about Elon.
I would say people can argue that Elon sometimes may have more of a handle on some of that than others, but I wonder if part of that is a business move as well to try and stay relevant in the change.
Yeah.
And is there going to be change, or is there not? Is it just lip service? Who knows? But
people are already posting shit on there that you couldn't post like 6 months ago. Like people are already posting stuff, so it's there.
They're testing the boundaries. You get people who want to push and see how far they can go. Yeah.
And man, like they have a tough job. I will say that. Like firefighters talk shit about the union all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're not doing enough for us. They need to be pushing back there. Fuck the city. They need to be working harder. Blah, blah, blah. Their job's fucking tough.
Yeah.
These fact checkers, people are complaining that their post got banned, whatever. Like that shit's hard, man. When you think about it, the way Zuckerberg laid it out, it's hard.
Yeah.
So did they fuck up? Yeah, they fucked up, and he knows it. I wish there would have been more of an apology.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It was very, none of it's my, that's what I didn't like about
it. It was, you got to understand the process.
He didn't take any responsibility.
There was zero accountability.
Exactly.
I stopped about halfway through the Rogan thing because I was like, dude, this dude's just blaming other people.
Yeah.
And
what I thought was interesting in that is he found a way to answer the questions by skirting around the questions. Like it was almost
I didn't
Trust
politician.
it. He's smart.
I think there was a lot of really good content in there, but there's a lot of things that Rogan asked him, and he would almost deflect and reroute.
Yep. Do you remember having instances? Because I can't remember. I know what you're talking about.
I can't think off the top of my head, but like there was a couple of times where where he would say something, and I can't think of specific, but this is like the pattern. He would say something.
Oh, and Rogan
would rebut and go, well, yeah, but what about this? And you go, huh, yeah. So, you know, when I think about this is like he would totally go a different route.
Like when, for instance, when Zuckerberg was talking about Biden's people calling and yelling at him, every phone call with those places is recorded. Guaranteed. And Rogan's like, do you have a recording?
He's
like, no, but the emails are all, he's like, man, sure, we'd like to have that
recordings. They got the recordings, dude.
They're out there.
Yeah.
Come on now. I don't trust it for a minute, dude.
Well, and you look at how much like the governmental agencies, NSA, the FBI, the CIA, they all have a hand in these technological platforms in some way, shape, or form.
Google was started in partnership with DARPA and the CIA.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you ever truly trust that they're 100%?
You can't.
Not involved.
Man, but at what point do these oligarchs become more powerful than the government? I think we're at that point. Like, Elon Musk is on the path to be a trillionaire.
Yeah.
A fucking trillionaire.
Yeah.
Like, at what point are these companies and individuals more powerful than the government? I think we're getting, you can see how in bed Elon is with the president of the United States and the influence he's already having.
Yeah.
That's just money, dude.
Yep.
It's just money. Like,
and it's funny because if you look at like the flip side of it, and we've talked about this before, but like if you're pro-Trump or you're pro-Republican, you kind of don't see it the same because it doesn't sit the same with you. But it's no different than somebody who's just some wealthy person who's appointed head of some company that's in charge of something that makes decisions for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's him. He's this guy that's ultra rich billionaire. It's almost like and again, take this with a grain of salt because it's not a direct comparison, but like it's almost a Bill Gates situation. You get the super wealthy guy who, because he's wealthy and he's smart in one area, you're going to now give him autonomy over Department of Governmental Efficiency. Like, now he gets to be in charge of what's efficient for the government or not because he's a smart tech guy. Like, you know what I mean? In some way, shape, and form, it kind of doesn't really make fucking sense, but everybody's on board if you're, and again, I'm for it, but people don't look at it the same because it's the party that you respect.
Yeah, sure.
It's no different than appointing somebody the head of the WEF and having them make decisions for the entire world, and it's not somebody who was elected in, it's just some rich guy.
I think, and this might just be my opinion, but I think a lot of people when they voted for Trump, I feel like he was so tied to the hip. I feel like they almost voted for Elon Musk. Like, I'm voting for Trump and Elon Musk.
Absolutely. For the possibility of.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people voted for that. So when people are saying that he's too embedded with the government, like, I think a lot of people voted for this. But you can see the influence he's already had with just regarding the H-1B visas.
Yep.
Like, he's
got a lot to say about
America First people don't want that. I don't want every fucking Indian, Pakistani person taking American jobs. And that's a real thing. You can go in depth on this. Like, they legitimately fire Americans to hire these people because they're cheaper. Yeah. And they control their salaries for 6 years. You cannot leave that company for 6 years, and that fucks an American out of a job. So Trump was kind of like wish-washy on this. Most America First people don't want it. And when we voted for Trump, we voted America First, right? Make America great again. Yeah. But Elon Musk came out with a tweet like, I will go to war over this, the likes of which you've never seen. I think he said, fuck you in your face if you don't like this. So, and then Trump's like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people have
it's up for debate.
Yeah, exactly. Just because of what Elon Musk said.
Yeah.
So when you voted for Trump, you voted for Elon, whether you like it or not. And it's there. And
which is funny because I don't think that they're 100% on the same page. I mean, clearly with H-1B visas, but
I wouldn't want him to be either.
No.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing is like Trump surrounds himself with yes people, and if he doesn't, he fires them, right?
How long before Elon's
not get well. That's the interesting part is he's not going to be a yes man to Trump.
Yeah,
he's going to stand up for what he believes in for his because he's a businessman also. Yep. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out over the next 4 years.
And Trump's talking about all these tariffs with China, like Tesla in particular, and I'm sure his other companies are very dependent on Chinese manufacturing for batteries, minerals, all that kind of shit. It'll be interesting to see what happens with China.
I mean, I don't think it, like you said, I don't think it's bad that he has them there. I think there should be checks and balances along the way and weighing both sides, but it's definitely going to be entertaining.
I just saw that Elon Musk's net worth right now is like $360-something billion.
It's disgusting.
It's like they put it on this pie graph of all these other billionaires and like his chunk's fucking big.
What are like the Shahs and the people in like Saudi Arabia? Like what's their worth? Like
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like these.
Well, I think when you're in Saudi Arabia,
Iranian prince or fucking like, what's their wealth?
If you're one of those like Saudi oil prince, like,
are they in the trillions?
Maybe
are they higher than that?
18 billion
for who?
The currently King Salman bin.
Yeah, that ain't shit.
Something
you want to buy and sell that bitch.
Yeah, leads
Taylor will be there before this
billion.
presidency's over.
Taylor Swift's gonna get 18 bill. Fuck the Saudi oil.
Another one at 22.6 billion. So probably about in the 10 to 20 billion.
You know what I mean?
But Elon can buy them all.
Yeah,
that's wild, dude.
But what's fun? Have you seen that show Landman on Paramount?
No, you're talking about it.
It's fucking.
That's
good.
Billy Bob, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it's like the prologue to the show, and he's kind of like doing a voiceover when they're showing these oil fields in Midland, Texas, and he's talking about where oil and gas industry is in the grand scheme of the world economy. And he's like, it ranks number 7th or something like that. And then he goes like, in every industry that's ahead of us is solely reliant on oil and gas. So the bigger they get, the bigger we get.
That's awesome.
So like when he broke it, I mean, I don't know how factual it is, but it seems like something they would throw an actual fact in there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm like, God damn. All right.
It's not a bad business model.
No. Yeah. Like you guys get richer. That helps us.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's keep doing
We're all
that.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough about Zuck and Elon. One more Elon thing. Adam, you can pull up just blah, 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 A11. There is some back and forth whether this is real or not, but China's considering.
Wow.
Out of that headline, what interests you the most? The headline reads, China's considering a plan to let Elon Musk buy TikTok. What catches your eye about that?
I don't know. Just
China.
Like they're going to let him.
Who? ByteDance is the company that owns China. And they said
ByteDance owns China? TikTok.
I'm sorry. ByteDance owns TikTok.
Okay.
The reason the U.S. government is considering banning TikTok is because of the influence of the CCP. The Chinese Communist Party has too much influence over
So does that mean that they already want to sell to him, but China won't let them? Like
Why is China considering selling them and not ByteDance? This is why we're considering banning it in the
Because they're the
first place.
CCP.
Because you're the fucking Communist Party.
Yeah.
You communist fucks.
Because they have a say over what a company can do.
And
their own companies. Wow.
So China's considering selling it. And that
the
I've read
Chinese
that
government.
It wasn't just on this. I read it on multiple headlines that said China is considering selling. TikTok said this is pure fantasy. We haven't talked about that. Elon's been very quiet about it. Haven't heard a peep out of Elon about it. China has to, I think it's January something.
It's coming up.
It's coming up really quick.
Next couple of days.
And they have to divest or they will be banned in the United States.
Oh, that's okay. So that's still ongoing. Yeah.
It's still happening. It is. It's like maybe the 20th. Am I wrong? Or no, that's the inauguration day. Maybe 6th. It's really soon, within a week, I'll say. So they have to sell or they're done in the United States.
So January 19th.
19th.
Okay, so 4 days.
Yeah. Crazy. So that's happening. So they got to sell to somebody.
In 4 days, we'll know.
There's also speculation about Mr. Beast buying a portion of it because you're like, fine.
Dude, I don't trust that guy either, man.
Mr. Beast?
There's something up with that guy.
Dude, have you seen the Beast games on TV? I know you've seen it. Your son's
I haven't
like
watched
Squid
it,
Games,
but I've seen
right?
it.
But in real life.
I've never seen Squid Games, so I don't know.
Well, everyone dies in Squid Games. So
Right.
it's
Nobody
not just
dies
like
in
that.
this.
It's not like that.
Yes. No one dies.
Amazon's not running
No
these
one
Squid
dies.
Games.
So we watched the first episode.
I'll have to watch with Jax. I don't even know if you watched it yet.
Dude, I don't know if it's just the way they shoot it. I don't know if it's the way the competition. It's fucking intense.
Is it fun to watch? Is it a good, entertaining watch?
It's intense enough to where I was uncomfortable, but I couldn't pull myself away. Like, dude,
I'll check it out.
That's why he became the biggest YouTuber. He knows how to make a video.
Dude, it was very impressive because when it got done, I sat there and I was like, I was drawn to it like a train wreck. Like I couldn't look away. I didn't necessarily like it, but I was.
But you couldn't stop
It was
watching.
a level of entertainment that was almost sick and twisted. But like when it was done, like the one thing because my kids were watching it, my son was watching it. And I go, hey man, what did you notice the most about that show? He goes, people get really, and I was really proud of him for saying this, but he goes, people get really evil about money stuff. Like they are so mean to each other about money. And I was like, yeah, man, good for you. Good for you. So, you know, I don't know if he continued watching any of that because he said it made him uncomfortable too. Like how mean they were being to each other. Dude.
Over some money.
Dude, it was wild.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, check it out. At least the first episode. That's all I've seen.
Yeah, I'll watch some today.
And I guess I'll get caught up on Squid Games, I guess.
I would watch the first season. I would say I liked it. But
I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm like, I don't want to read my way through.
You got to
TV.
get over the subtitles.
I can't do it. I'll never get over.
Well, we run subtitles 24/7 in our house anyway.
Oh,
my wife has hearing issues, so
Nope.
Tell her to get headphones.
I know.
Time to move.
We've had subtitles on for years.
I'm so sorry.
So every fucking show you watch is some foreign show.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I just wonder how much of the show I miss because I'm reading. Like I'm not watching.
Yeah, you're missing the actual.
Listen
action.
to a book.
Are you caught up on Silo?
No, I'm only at episode 2.
It's good.
Yeah.
What's Silo?
It's a show on Apple Plus. It's
Okay.
on season 2.
Dude, you gotta watch it.
Good.
I think we have. Dude, we have
Post-apocalyptic. Everybody lives in an underground silo, 100 floors underground.
Dude,
it's good.
all in.
All right. Anyway,
This has been the Netflix recommendations portion of the show.
People need to know what to watch.
Yeah, too.
I just watched a show. I'll throw this one out there too. It was On Call. It was a show about PD in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah,
it's okay, isn't it? It was like 8 episodes or something like that.
Kind of like what you would expect.
They're a half hour. Some of it's kind of cool because it's shot a little differently. You'll get like, you know how you would a normal show, third person watching from the outside, but then every now and then it goes first person because you're watching their body cam.
That's cool.
Weird. So it's a little different. It kept you engaged. The story was but it's something to watch. It'll keep you entertained.
While we're here, American, I don't know how you pronounce this word. Is it Primeval?
Primeval.
Fucking great show.
I like the director.
It's like Tombstone. It's like
more
Yellowstone,
violent though, right?
1886, but like better.
Yeah. The guy that directed is the one that did.
He did.
It's not Taylor Sheridan.
Lone
Survivor.
Yeah.
It's not a Taylor Sheridan one though. The same guy who does Yellowstone.
Deepwater Horizon.
Oh, okay.
Patriots Day about the
Boston bombing.
Big in bed with Mark Wahlberg, I guess. I just named out 3 movies. He's in all of them.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Way better than the Tim McGraw show. You know what I mean?
Peter Berg. Peter Berg, right? Is that his name?
Uncle Tim. Peter Berg sounds familiar.
Peter Berg, yeah.
Yeah, he's the director or whatever. It's worth it.
All right.
Anyway.
All right. Now that the Netflix recommendations are out of the way,
you're welcome.
Let's talk about
The Whole World is Burning.
Los Angeles. So
Okay.
it's the whole world of those people.
Yeah, somebody's whole world. That's true.
Heyo.
Dude, fucking wild, man.
Crazy. Let's start off with, because those fires just kind of kicked off like right at our last show, so we didn't talk about it. So the mayor of Los Angeles was set to visit Ghana when this all started going down. She was caught in an airport while the city is just raging inferno everywhere. She was caught in an airport by a reporter. It sounds like a British dude from Sky News. But look at her, number one. This is shared from Officer Tatum on Instagram. But look at her face while this guy's grilling her.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Dude, she doesn't give a fuck.
Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster?
Pip, pip, asshole, out of my way.
No apology for them?
Pip, motherfucker.
She didn't even say that.
Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home?
Now, was this ongoing and then she went to the airport, or like she was at the airport when all of a sudden
this is when she was getting back from Ghana, I believe.
So that whole video, she does not say a fucking word. I can't think of a more politically damaging video that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just trying to give it context. Like,
so, okay, we'll get to that.
Did the fire just kick off?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll get to that because I think some of it may be unfair.
Sure.
So, but in this video, as a politician, how do you not at least come up and say, like, I've been in contact with all the city officials. We're working tirelessly.
Absolutely.
Like, I changed my plans. I'm headed back to everybody and the citizens. You know, my heart is with you. I'll be there soon. We'll get this taken care of.
That's the reason I'm going back right now.
All that shit.
Even if you're
anything,
lip service.
Anything.
Yeah.
Say something. She didn't say a fucking word. So what you were saying is, when did this happen? Obviously the trip was already scheduled. You don't schedule an overnight trip to Ghana. Like,
sure. I hope not.
And I think, I could be wrong, but I think things had just not even like started yet. She had been alerted that there's going to be like a horrendous windstorm. Like Santa Ana winds were going to be fucking insane this year. Yeah. I think that's all she knew. So like to say she shouldn't have taken this trip, I think that's a little tough.
Sure.
So
I want to know why she was like, why we're sending the mayor of LA to Ghana.
Yeah, why does the fucking mayor of LA need to go usher in the new president of Ghana?
I want to say it was on taxpayer dollars.
It was.
You know, like, so why are we sending people for that?
You know whose job that is? Ambassadors.
Yeah.
Not mayors of Los Angeles.
What does the mayor of LA have to do with
Don't we have ambassadors for that reason?
It's not even like I mean, Ghana's a country, but I don't even think LA has a sister city in Ghana.
Yeah.
Like why are you there? Again, it's a vanity trip.
Sure.
So should she have taken it in the first place? No.
Probably not. It's a vacation.
I don't know if I'd call it a vacation. You go to Ghana for a vacation?
Well, like safari or something. People go on safaris all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I can't even place Ghana. Like, I'm trying to look at for like a visual in my mind of Ghana. I'm like, it could be desert, it could be jungle. I don't know.
I'm assuming desert.
Are you?
It's coastal. There's beaches.
Never mind.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's crowded.
There's better, safer places to go than Ghana.
That was kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah. I think we can agree on that part.
That's kind of what it kind of looks like Greece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like budget Greece, like great value Greece.
Yeah. Great value Greece. But if that's the thing you could buy at Walmart, great value Greece. That's funny. All right, sorry, Johnny.
No, great value Greece. It's a Walmart joke if you shut there.
Yeah. So anyway, he's grilling her.
Oh yeah, so like her taking the trip, neither here nor there. Let's say even just a little bit of a spark of a fire. Let's say it had started. Like, I'm not canceling my trip to Africa because a fire started. Fires start here all the time. Yeah. No way in hell she knew it was going to get that big. But you got to say something, right?
Yeah, you got
to say something. So everyone's saying that she dropped the ball on a lot of these things. And Adam, you can play A2. The city of Los Angeles' fire chief had a lot to say about it too.
Was your budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 cut?
I can tell you, I'm going to even go back further than that. Again, since day one, we've identified huge gaps in regard to our service delivery and our ability from our firefighters, boots on the ground, to do their jobs. Since day one, this is my third budget as we're going into 25-26. What I can tell you is we are still understaffed, we're still under-resourced, and we're still underfunded. So with that, whether it's $7 million, $10 million.
But was the budget cut?
Yes, it was cut.
Yeah,
and it did impact our ability to provide service.
It was like $16 million, right?
The mayor say it didn't affect anything at all. What is going through your head, if you can share that with us?
Sure. So just full transparency. Again, my position is to make sure that our people get what they need to do their jobs, and also, mind you, that they get to go home to their families. The amount of calls that our firefighters are running today has doubled since 2010, a 55% increase with 68 less people.
Did the city of Los Angeles fail you and your department and our city?
It's my job to stand up as a chief and exactly say, justifiably, what the fire department needs to operate to meet the demands of the community.
Did they fail you?
That is our job. And I tell you, that's why I'm here. So let's get us what we need so our firefighters can do their jobs.
Did they fail you?
Yes.
Hey, good on that reporter.
Wow.
Yep. Did they fail?
Good on that reporter for pushing, man. Good job.
So a couple things about that fire chief.
She got fired. Oh, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm pretty sure she did.
No, somebody said that, and I researched it. I couldn't find anything else other than
about it.
The only thing I saw was an Instagram post. I couldn't find an actual news article.
Fake news.
I just meant because she called out the mayor by saying the city failed us.
Anyway,
maybe after the fire's over,
she's
gone. She's getting a lot of heat because she was the diversity hire chief. Like, we're hiring
3 of them,
a billion lesbians, and the city can't be diverse enough.
Billion lesbians.
Yeah, if you're out there, go to LA. They'll hire you.
We're getting rid of all the white guys.
So she got a lot of heat for that, justifiably so. But way she stood up for her fire department, it took that
was pretty legit
on the world stage to say, we need this. I thought that was fucking
good on her.
A lot of fucking balls to say that the mayor failed us on fucking TV.
Nice balls.
Couple of balls.
Right? That's a ballsy bitch.
Nice balls.
So good on her for that. I like that. The mayor and the city of Los Angeles failed us. And good for that reporter, what Adam said, following up.
3 times
Give me an
pressed
answer.
that question.
And just from the sound of what she was saying, it sounds like she has her department's back, whether she does or not.
It sounded like
whether she does or not.
In that moment, she did.
In that moment, she sounds like she's like about the department.
Hey, if you're a firefighter in LA, let us know what you think.
Dude, that's not real.
Cool. And let us know what you think about this, Chief Adam. Play A3.
Oh hell yeah!
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency,
nice
whether
balls.
It's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you.
No, you don't.
That person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Dude, can I say something?
We can say a lot of things.
Here's the deal, man. I don't get offended easily. And I'm not going to lie. When I saw that video, I was fucking hot, dude. Because I'm going to get all high and mighty here for a second. For a chief or any person on the job to say, well, they shouldn't have gotten themselves in the fire in the first place.
How do you say that?
Fuck you. That's our job, okay? Like, We don't roll up.
Nobody planned on getting themselves stuck in a fire.
And you know what?
Every fucking victim.
I'm in a bad spot. That's why I called 911.
Every fucking victim.
Even if it was their fault,
did not intend
the
for that to
job
happen.
is to go fucking get them.
Yes.
Like, fuck you. That was such a shit stain on the profession for me. I was fucking mad when I saw that, dude.
And if anybody out there is listening who isn't a firefighter, I can promise you every single firefighter wants nothing more than to go into a house fire and save somebody.
Please get yourself trapped.
That is not
Let
the
me come
sentiment
get you.
of anybody worth a shit.
Oh, man, I was hot when I fucking saw that.
I want to save your mama, your daddy, your kids,
the
your
dog,
pets.
Saving everybody.
the cat.
Saving everybody.
Saving everybody
Jesus,
around here.
That's what every firefighter wants. That lady is a piece of shit.
Fuck that, dude.
She says...
I would say that's why 99.9% of people become firefighters.
Yes.
And
is to make sure that they can help in that scenario.
If you're only listening, the voice you heard was the voice of the, I believe, something equity chief.
Oh, yeah, I got her.
Look up her,
right here.
look up
I got
her
it right
title.
here.
Oh, it might even say in there. Does it say? I can't read that far.
LAFD assistant chief.
She's an assistant chief.
Christine Larson.
Hire,
Christine Larson, so everybody knows her name. Terrible chief.
But if you can't see her, this is a large lady.
Close your eyes and think about what you think somebody who would say that would look like.
Well, she
and you
sounds
nailed it.
exactly like she looks.
Yeah,
so
you nailed it.
If you're just listening,
You got it right.
envisioning exactly what she looks like.
Yeah, you got it right.
So when she says that, and people ask me if I can pull their husband out of a fire, and my response is, like, no, you cannot fucking pull anyone out of a fire. You probably couldn't get yourself out of a fire.
Fucking A.
You are a piece of, I don't know what you look like when you first came on this job, but right now you're a piece of shit. Piece of shit.
Guessing not far from.
So
what she
again,
looks like
all our
garbage.
LA fire buddies, fucking send us a message.
Yeah,
Come on the show. Let's talk. We'll do a remote.
Let's get her
thing.
on the show, dude. I'd like to interview her. I got some questions.
Do you regret fucking making that video?
Yeah, let's go work out. Let's do a skilly together. Let's do this shit.
Man,
I'm fucking mad,
together.
dude.
Dude, that's fucking wild that she said that.
It's such a crazy statement to make.
Pretty fucking embarrassing.
That chick needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I wish I saw her official title. It's something.
I had it on here. I was trying to pull it up real quick before we. No, I had a video linking all three of those.
Did you have those same videos?
Yeah, but there's one that links. There's these two guys talking about. I think they're on a podcast or on a show, but they're talking about them, and they combine. There's three of them that are diversity equity hires, and they're all from Harvard School of something.
Really?
Yeah.
Although, hey, right now I can go online and get a certificate.
So can
from
Billy
Harvard.
Carson's. MIT.
Don't get me started from Billy.
She's got 33 years with the LAFD.
Fuck yeah, she does.
I wonder how many of them were
All
completely
admin.
ass.
All admin.
Like, yeah, maybe like how many of those 33 years were just pure ass and didn't serve the citizens at all?
Captain, battalion chief,
Dude,
A chief, deputy chief. She's in charge of the Los Angeles Women in the Fire Service.
Yeah, it's fucking embarrassing.
She's a board of directors for Camp Blaze, which is a fire camp for young women held in Washington State.
How, as a woman getting on the job, would you look at her and be like, I want to be like her someday?
Yeah, come on, dude.
She screams leader. I want to follow her.
There are some girls on the job that are
here it
fucking
is.
incredibly
Here it
fit
is.
and can do the job.
You might as well ask.
She ain't one of them.
Like, that's such a, well, what was she wearing kind of statement to make. Like,
Victim blaming.
victim blaming. Come on, dude.
Yeah, like, but what you said about what is she wearing, you're talking about rape and stuff like that, like, you got to ask that question. Was she asking
first
for
one,
it?
To be fair.
So the first
Sorry.
one that you showed of the lady having their back, that was Kristen Crowley, and she was the first LGBTQ fire chief. She makes almost $500,000. She went to the Harvard Business School.
Okay.
Okay. Then there was one that they point out. She's the first lesbian.
So she got an
assistant chief.
MBA from Harvard,
Yeah.
Why'd you go fire?
right?
I don't know. That's
you
what they were
could've done
saying.
something else.
Because she was a DEI hire.
But still.
I don't know. So the second one that they point out, and I don't have this video on here, but I had to cycle back through it.
Oh,
This is
lady?
Kristen. Oh no, that was Kristen
No,
Crowley.
it's like Kristen Larson or something.
This is Christina Kepner. She's
Oh,
another
it
one.
says Chief Larson.
Stand by.
Okay.
This one that they're talking about is Christina Kepner. She's the first lesbian assistant chief to the LA Fire Department, and she graduated from the Harvard Kennedy School for managing diverse organizations.
Another Harvard grad.
So then this one right here is the Christine Larson, LA Fire Department's first lesbian equity bureau chief.
Equity Bureau
Yes.
Chief. That's it.
And she makes $400,000 a year.
Did you know the city water lady that's in charge of like all the she makes $750,000?
That's crazy.
She's the highest paid employee in the city and didn't have enough water to fight fires.
Where's the water, Gavin?
So let's let's talk about that, because on the conspiracy side of things, which I'm sure you've seen and heard of, and we can touch on that, people are saying that this is Maui 2.0.
No.
Dude,
they are saying
Four
that.
fires,
I'm sure people are saying say no.
They all start at the same time.
No, they didn't all start at the same time. That video is bullshit.
They didn't start at the same
AI. AI.
No, the one that you're referring to.
The satellite one? Is that not real?
That's from Prescribed Burn.
Damn it.
That was from like a year prior or something, right?
Do your research.
So, but they were saying that like, so one, that all the hydrants had no water. And so I looked into that a little bit, and what it is
we know how that can happen, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, in that Palisades area, because of the elevation, they have these 4 massive tanks that are there for.
Are they like gravity fed? Are they pump fed, or both?
I don't know this. I don't know exactly, so I can't say. I believe, if I remember correctly, they might be gravity fed, because they're up in the hills.
Say if you're up here and
they're up in the hills. So they have more than adequate amount of water, and so when they were grilled, and it must have been this water lady in this interview, but when grilled about it, she said, we have more than enough water. We have adequate water for a house fire or 2 house fires. We don't have enough for this. So they were using 3 to 4 times the amount than normal for a fire.
Sure.
For 15 hours straight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I could see how it could happen.
For 15 hours straight, and in that 15 hours, they drained 3 of the 4 tanks, and that's all they had up in the hills.
I can see that, yeah.
I can see that too. But if I'm in charge of water,
and this isn't the first time you've had a major wildfire near the city.
That's my job.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it sounds like, and again, not a knock towards our department, but kind of in jest, like, it sounds like they have the same level of forecasting and planning as historically we do. Like, if for 15 hours you're using 3 to 4 times the amount, you know how you have a finite amount in those 4 tanks, how much that is. You can do simple math and go, shit, we better replace this or find, you know what I mean? Like, you're 4 hours into this operation.
Probably know what time you're going to run out at.
You're an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into this operation, and you haven't gotten control. You need to start going, shit, let's get on the horn. Let's get some more water. Let's get something going, because we're going to go through this faster than we've got it. How do you get down 3 tanks and go, fuck, all of our hydrants are dry? Sorry, everybody.
At that point, like, what do you do? Like, that's a wrap, right? Like, what as a firefighter, what can you do?
Done. So then, on the ground, so there was another lady in LA, and so this was like in the Palisades, but Pacific Palisades, but in LA, they were saying like they have more than enough water for what they need down there. Problem is distribution. How do you get it up to the hills? A lot of their storage tanks are burned down. A lot of their water supply lines are burned down or affected or malfunctioned. She's like, there's no logistical way last minute to figure out where do we go.
Yeah, and let's be honest about this. This is catastrophic.
Right. This is natural disaster.
Total
style.
worst case scenario.
Adam, pull up a D5.
I was just going to play that. Look at that.
I mean, this is from a flight coming in. Jesus. That looks like a fucking movie, dude.
It does.
Ripper, dude.
That's
Hot
like
job.
Armageddon style fire.
I feel like I'm not on these planning commissions. Like, I'm not that smart. But I would think even if they're thinking worst case scenario, they're not thinking this.
No.
Like that.
You can't even fathom that until you see it.
Exactly. Like, how could it's kind of like, who would have thought airplanes are going to fly into the World Trade Center?
Yeah.
Like, it just like, okay, now we think, don't even.
You're going to get him going down a whole different fucking rabbit hole.
I know, because Adam saw it coming before anybody else.
I didn't. Alex Jones did, but that's a different conversation.
Well, Alex Jones is the Oracle. I mean, that's.
Buy my supplements.
Lizard people, brother.
There's lizards underground. Buy my supplements.
In my mind, he is part Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's a clone.
Neither here nor there.
Anyway.
But I'm saying, like, who is a firefighter? Like, I'm trying to picture a scenario in Phoenix where this happens. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't see. So maybe they thought the same thing. It's like, I don't know. I could see it getting this bad, but we can stop it here. We have enough water to do this, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it's just a bunch of dudes like you and me that are chiefs are in charge of pre-planning this stuff. And like, we just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, I think shit got out of hand. Now let's talk about your conspiracy. What do we got? Jewish space lasers? What is this?
Nope. So people are also talking about how Jewish space lasers. I mean, the EW is a topic of this. We'll get to that. But the insurance companies pulling out their fire coverage on all over the internet, all over social media.
State Farm in particular.
They're saying State Farm in particular, but there's also another one. I can't think of who it was off the top of my head. But specifically State Farm.
this has been happening since 2019.
I was just gonna say that. So they were all over the internet says that they pulled out a week prior. And so what's funny is I was in the doctor's office the other day, coming off shift, and I was just sitting in the waiting room, and there's like 4 or 5 random older people. I'll say older, like 60s, 70s. And like one would walk in and sit down, and another one would walk in and sit down, and they just all started having conversations. And before you know it, like they were the loudest group in this waiting room, and they were talking about this is rigged by the government. They all were separate. They weren't with each other, but they all had the same view. This is rigged by the government. Insurance pulled out a week before. Why would they cancel their fire insurance a week before? And why are the hydrants out of water? And this is all rigged and conspiracy. I mean, so I don't think they're reading the same conspiracy places I'm going, but it's out there, right?
Sure.
So the thought is that State Farm bailed a week prior and canceled all these people's fire insurance. But like you said, and what I researched is this has been going on since 2019. And I think it was like a cost effect measure by them. They were bailing out, but also the state of California has this, I can't remember the name of it. It's like a fair insurance act, something. But it's almost like governmental insurance.
Yes.
And so I think the goal was to start steering people more towards that. But they said at the time, the transition of these people backing out and people crossing over or carrying their own private insurance, there was just too many in that gap. But that, like you said, that's been going on for 6 years, 5.5, 6 years. Yeah. So that's not brand new, but
there were some people that in the last couple of weeks got canceled.
Maybe. But the theory along this whole conspiracy theory and along the internet is that these insurance companies bailed out. Hydrants have no water. This must have been orchestrated. So it's kind of the consensus of going along with that. The DEW side of things, the direct energy weapon is that people are saying this is eerily reminiscent of Maui, because you have, for example, specifically, you have vehicles melted to the ground because the fire was so hot. You have all these homes torn down, but next to these vehicles are fully intact bushes, or you have trees standing still with the leaves on them. And it's like, how can these fires be so hot that they melt steel, but these trees have their leaves on, right? So that's kind of what's floating around there about the direct energy weapon deal.
I just can't believe it. I can't. Jewish space lasers, first of all, who controls the world? Rich people, right? Mm-hmm. Who lost their houses? Fucking rich people.
And so that's what I said to Adam. I said, okay, so
about that today.
So, and you know, I love a good conspiracy, dude. I'm all for it.
Oh, I know.
I'm all for it. But I'm starting to have a harder time with things like this, where it's like, how are you going to move the goalpost on this one? Like, are the rich and elite and powerful the ones controlling the world, but they're the ones that lost their home? But now there's another level of elite and rich, and like, is it separate?
Do I believe there is another level of elite? Yeah, but
absolutely.
But they're not going to fuck over their neighbor.
And that's just it. Well, and Adam said, well, maybe for the conspiracy side, like maybe sometimes you got to crack a couple eggs if you want to make an omelet. Like maybe that's I don't know. Maybe they're included.
Sometimes you got to shoot the hostage, bro.
Someone was saying too, they brought up the Maui thing, like, oh, they're burning it down, then they're going to sell it, and like, who are they going to sell it to? Rich people? Yeah, the rich people are the ones that already live there. It's fucking Malibu.
So there's been talk of much like the hurricane, what was it, Milton and Helene, about the government coming in and doing eminent domain, because in 2019, I believe there was a proposal or 2020. In 2020, they had a proposal for LA 2025 and making it the first smart city, right? And so this is on the conspiracy side, there's a high-speed railway that if you do an overlay of the map of Pacific Palisades and where the railway is, allegedly the railway goes right through where that fire burned. So it's all these inconsistencies that people are kind of grouping together and choosing to see the pattern of this looks like it was done on purpose.
They've been trying to do a high-speed railway in the city of Los Angeles, Southern California, maybe as long as I've been alive.
Oh, I didn't.
They've been talking about that, like whatever route they're talking about. I don't know, but there's been talk as long as I can remember back to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Them talking about high-speed railways, Southern California to Vegas, Phoenix, all up and down the coast, all that shit. The government's not going to come in and do eminent domain in Malibu. It is the most expensive real estate in the country. People are losing $70 million houses.
Yeah.
Like, again, if you're like some conspiracy theorists say, hey, we're going to come in and take this land and then, bulldoze everything and then sell it. Again, to who? The rich people. The rich people are the ones that already live there.
Right.
The richest people live there. I mean, I don't buy it. And when you talk about these smart cities for poor people and middle class, they don't need to live in Malibu. You could put them in fucking Podunk, Iowa, and that's where you could build your city. It's not going to be Malibu. Why would you take the most expensive real estate in the fucking world to build your city? You build it where there's cheap fucking land and you don't give a fuck where these people live because you're going to make them go there anyway.
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense to me that conspiracy side. I could even get on board more with the Malibu or the Maui fire versus this one. Like, okay, you have a point there, and I still don't buy that. But you have more of a point over there than you do here. Yeah,
so that was just one of these. They said like 5,000 structures burned in that fire.
No, way more than that.
Says that was just Pacific Palisades.
Okay, gotcha.
5,000 there, and they said the median home price is $3.1 million. Median.
Yeah.
And like there was multiple articles. Like there was one guy who bought this home for $12 million 4 years ago, fixed it up, spent another $4 million. He's going to sell it for 21. So I mean that alone, that house is 16 mil. So
look at the one. Like I wonder what the median in Malibu is. Not specifically the Palisades, which they kind of butt up to each other.
This article here says 12,000 homes and structures. They're estimating losses at $30 to $40 billion.
Median home price in Malibu. December of 2024 was 3.5 million.
Okay, so the same. Yeah, I mean
that's crazy.
And that area kind of like, I'm thinking the last time I went through there was probably 4 years ago. It's kind of like
I'm gonna throw this up here, Steve.
And it's not the same, but I'm gonna equate it to Arcadia here.
So that was the before and after of Pacific Palisades.
Crazy.
Holy fuck.
Just crazy.
It was like a bomb went off, dude.
Yeah. In some of those houses, like we know what a house fire looks like after it's gutted. These things were burnt to the fucking foundation.
Nothing but chimneys.
Because unchecked fire.
All you see is like the lower block halves where
maybe some copper pipes sticking up, dude. It's crazy.
Another thing that people said is that, and this has been going all over the internet, is that so the state of Oregon Fire, they sent 60 fire trucks from Oregon into California to help with the blaze. I can't remember how many firefighters, maybe 160 or something like that. But the internet was all abuzz, and it said that and I had to text Adam this. I was like, I gotta look into this because this is fucking wild.
I only saw one guy tweet about it. Like, is that a real thing?
I saw a couple. It said that.
No, I saw people retweet this one guy's tweet.
Oh, I didn't look into that. But it said that they were turning the fire trucks away. They wouldn't let them enter because they didn't pass the state of California's vehicle emission standards, which is fucking nuts.
That makes no sense. I go to California all the time. I don't have California emissions. That makes zero sense now that I just thought about that.
Yeah. So what it is they had to do road safety checks in Sacramento. So there was a stop that all the trucks had to do because these trucks, as you know, as most people know, are not accustomed to driving hundreds of miles to go do something. So they were stopping and basically safety checking these trucks. And so when you look into it, the Sacramento safety stop was like the Sacramento Highway Traffic Control, safety
checking brakes and shit like that,
NHTSA or whatever. Yeah, it was just a safety inspection. Each truck took about 15 minutes, and then they passed them through. So Oregon said that they all went through successfully, and Sacramento said they all went through successfully. But because they had to stop at the safety check to make sure that they weren't going to break down driving in and that they could drive out, that people were saying that they were being turned away.
How does this get fucking spread like that?
So misconstrued. But if you do, like, you know, we talked about this before. You do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
You dig in just a little bit, type in the question and do some research. Yeah. All the answers are there, but people keep spreading all this shit saying they're turning away fire trucks. So when you add all these layers on, of course it looks like a conspiracy.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah. Nobody bothers to do even the slightest bit of research. They see the one Instagram post or the one tweet and like, fact.
Yeah.
I'm going to retweet it.
Excuse me.
Drives me nuts.
Sorry, I'm just getting over being sick.
Yeah, because I saw that one and I didn't take the time to look into it because it sounded crazy to me, but I just saw several people retweet this one guy's tweet this was again third-party information that he's tweeting. Said my brother-in-law is a firefighter in Oregon, and he texted me saying that they were stopped,
turned away.
Yeah, and it was just this one guy's tweet who was talking about his brother-in-law in Oregon. Like it was all crap.
So, and then the last thing I'll say is that the fire, you know, we talked about the destruction path, the proposed high-speed rail, smart city deal. Like, well, that was supposedly the deal with.
Are we still on conspiracies?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was supposedly the deal with Maui as well. Is that they were going to be one of the first prototype smart cities. Like that was going to be the test run. But also people were saying I think it was Melbourne, Australia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was fires along the coast.
There was fires all over the country. Well, you remember that?
But the coastal portion that they burned, they showed an overlay of where they have a proposed smart city high-speed railway, and it was the exact same place that this place had burned along.
Why would they do that on the coast? Here's the most expensive real estate in our country. Let's try to build our shitty city right there.
Let me ask another question. Are the global elites trying to set this up in Australia, LA, and Maui. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like the global elites are picking like these spots. Why it doesn't? I don't know. That to me seems weird.
If you were trying to make, okay, here's a smart city that they're actually trying to do. It's out in fucking Buckeye Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one in Tempe, I think.
Tempe's we talked about that. Tempe, they're doing a whole neighborhood where you don't,
Yeah.
Buckeye Valley, nothing but fucking desert, cheap land. If you're going to develop something, you do it where you can buy the cheapest possible real estate. Because why? People are going to go there anyway.
And like you said, eminent domain is a real thing.
Sure.
But the government doesn't have to go do that doesn't have to destroy it to go in and take it. I mean, they could just do whatever they want anywhere else.
This is ours now.
Yeah.
But again, you're not fucking over. Maybe you'd have to do that in Malibu because like you have billionaire. They call it the one area that burnt down in Malibu. I think they call it like Billionaires Alley or something like that. Billionaires. They're not just going to roll over when they say, hey, this is ours now. So if you wanted to make that argument, I could see that.
Sure.
Like, yeah, those people aren't just going to roll over and die.
Well, I think the concept too was that you can't just build a smart city on top of a city that's already there. So if you're gonna go that route, you need to decimate everything and start from scratch.
Well, why wouldn't you build it 25 miles north, where you don't have to go through all this?
That is the question.
No, I want this. It has to be this
because it doesn't fit the conspiracy narrative, John.
Like if you're gonna find conspiracy, get some better ones. I want one I can sink my teeth into and say, ooh. I like this. Yeah. Like Kennedy. I believe all that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's plausible.
Everybody does.
They should. Come on, Trump, release that shit.
He's not releasing shit, dog.
No, not happening.
Did you see there was a post, Andrew Huberman caught arsonists starting fires. He made a post about that. I had that on D4.
Dude.
But so
fucking bums.
There's more and more people coming out saying that there's arsonists starting these fires, and potentially they were talking about on the radio this morning on KUPD saying that these reports are coming out from people that live there and police and everybody saying that this whole thing could have potentially been started by organized arsonists whose goal was to make it as big as possible.
Did you guys see they
organized arsonists for what purpose?
I don't. Well, just anarchy. Just
to be crazy.
Just to
so when you say organized, it's not like organized by BlackRock.
Not like it wasn't like BLM showed up or
gotcha.
Antifa. It wasn't like that.
They stole some looters broke into like a military compound or something and stole like Humvees. And did you guys see that?
I saw that too. I don't know if it's real. I saw one thing. I'd have to research it more. I have a flag to look into.
And then I also read another article that there's people dressing up as firefighters and looting homes that have been evacuated but not burned down yet.
Yeah.
And they're going in uniform and stealing all these people's shit.
I believe that.
It's pandemonium. And so I wouldn't discount the theory that there's just a bunch of people starting spot fires all over the place. Because I saw another video of a dude running down a neighborhood with a butane torch, lighting brushes on fire.
I saw a Babylon Bee headline for that. Man arrested with butane torch in California for possessing a gas-powered and not electric-powered torch. Something to that effect. Like, it's pretty funny.
Do you think it's possible that any of this is on a bigger scale, like terrorist cell?
Yes.
Testing out responses, seeing what they can get away with, seeing what the infrastructure looks like, seeing if we do this big of a deal, what the response is.
I guess you couldn't discount that.
That's kind of where my mind goes. Adam had an incident the other day with possible potential flagged person of interest terrorist wise that they took to the hospital.
Can you talk about it?
I don't think I can. I don't think I'm not allowed to talk about it.
What happened?
I'll tell you this. We transported someone last shift who was throwing all sorts of red flags the whole way. Mm-hmm. And I ended up calling a captain who I've got a good relationship with. He just made the Chiefs list. And I told him about it. And I said, listen, dude, I just wanted to tell somebody about this. And so he ended up calling 958. Mm-hmm. 958 ended up calling the PD side of things, who ended up calling me, and now I got to do paperwork on like suspected, like we're opening an investigation.
That's why we don't report anything. Paperwork.
Yeah.
Now I got a job.
Adam can't say it, so I can. So I'll tell you the better version. So guy's got a medical complaint. They get there. He's acting super weird. He's got a backpack that weighs about 100 pounds. Wants to take it.
Is he a bum?
No, but he's Middle Eastern.
Extended. Picked him
not
up. Not
from here. Here on a visa, visiting. So while he's getting on, his story is kind of outlandish. He's videotaping everything with his cell phone. They get in the back of the ambo. He's still videotaping. Adam's like, hey, dude, I don't mind if you want to record audio, that's fine, but I don't want to be on your camera. I would rather not be on your camera. So he holds it to himself. get to the hospital. He's taking out videotape in the hospital. They take him out to triage. He wants to go out and have a cigarette.
Did he have any real problems?
Allegedly, but no.
His story changed about.
No, I'm saying when you're checking his vitals and everything, nothing.
Vitals are
No.
And allegedly he had already been to the hospital, already told PD about what was going. Like, I don't know. And then he ended up leaving AMA after he walked outside, called 911, and asked to be taken to a separate hospital because the wait time here was too long.
But it's almost like he was like testing the response, seeing what the outlay looked like, looking at the inside of the hospital.
I've already been to county. Let's go over to GB now.
Basically, the PD side of things. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say.
Well, don't say it. Don't. Yeah.
They basically said like this absolutely warrants looking into it more. Here's a report to fill out.
Red flags. We're gonna watch this guy.
Tell you right now, Muhammad, not in our side.
Not today,
not in our fucking
ISIS.
city.
Don't California my Arizona.
Terrorists.
I was on our way out, and I told the pre-hospital coordinator too what was going on. I was like, "Let me tell you, if you hear anybody yelling anything about an Aloha snack bar, it's not like a Hawaiian barbecue spread. Like, get the fuck out of there."
Dude, I don't want my house getting blown up.
They're not coming here.
Okay.
They don't know where we're at.
Yeah. So anyway, so when he said that, it kind of made me think about with this whole.
I
California
absolutely
thing.
think it could
Is
be.
it
Absolutely.
Because I mean, think of how many
Yeah,
undocumented,
why not?
military-aged men have come into our country in the last 4 years.
One of the dudes-
and we don't know anything about it.
One of the dudes they picked up, the butane torch guy, he had like 5 prepaid cell phones on him, and he had a UN debit card on him. Like, so he's definitely not from here running around starting fires. It makes you ask questions. By the way, they stole 3 Humvees, machine gun vehicle mounts, freestanding machine gun tripods, medical equipment, binoculars, and bayonets, because I guess people still use those.
We were issued them.
Really?
That's pretty standard,
that's
right?
fucking badass. I didn't know we still use
Back then
those.
it was. I mean,
But yeah, so they stole
Probably
all this
still.
military equipment, which my first question is, like, do they not low jack the Humvees?
I
Like,
would think so.
do we not know where those are? That's just weird.
I would hope at this day and age where that technology is pretty fucking cheap, like we low jack.
Why
shit,
weren't we
right?
guarding the military equipment? Like, why wasn't there one person there hanging out just in case? Do we not have cameras? Do you not have alarms? Like, what's going on?
I guess it
Inside
depends
job.
on what kind of base it was. Like, it could have been a reserve base where the security is not massive.
Like a
tell
National
you what
Guard
it
base
was.
where it's
Yeah.
like minimal personnel.
It's an Army Reserve Center near Santa Ana, California.
Okay, so I mean that's.
I don't know anything about any of that, so.
8
PM.
I'm not military, but I would imagine a reserve center is probably low manned when it's not like operational hours.
Well, think about this too. Even a
not doing
massive
drill.
military base has like it's expansive in its fence line, right? And you can't guard that fence line all the
I've
time.
seen the movies, like you could sneak onto it
Sure.
and then run across, and like people won't even know you're there. Fit right
It says
in.
here,
But you can't. I know about military bases. You're not driving out of the gate.
It
Right.
says here they cut a fence and they tried to break into the uniform storage but couldn't. And then they stole all the other shit.
That was more heavily fortified than where the Humvees were.
You can
gotta
take our
protect the
fucking
drip,
weapons.
though.
I'll be goddamned if you get our fucking camis.
Protect the drip, baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how they got the vehicles out of there. Because, like I said, you're not leaving through the front gate. Like there are guards at all the
Could
gates.
you just drive through the fence?
They do in the
mean,
movies
just-
all the time.
Right. That
Those little
happens.
sparks shoot out
Yeah,
from the
just
side.
Bam!
Yeah.
It kind of explodes just before the car hits it,
Yeah.
you know?
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
All I'm saying is I
not
firmly
impossible.
believe that you can make an argument for these fires being more than just like fires that happened, you know,
Oh, yeah.
especially with
The-
the reports of people running around and setting fires now.
the terrorist thing would make more sense than any
I
fucking
absolutely
conspiracy.
think so.
That's and again, I don't know that I believe that, but I'm definitely curious. Like,
But why
that's
not?
always
Let's
in the
say
back
you
of
were
my head.
fucking Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and you're here to fucking like, hey, brother, cause
We're here to
terror,
fuck shit
whatever
up.
you can. You're like,
Yeah.
cause terror wherever I can. Okay.
There's some dry brush over here.
Yeah.
Let's see what we
See
get with
what
this.
Say, hey, man,
What can I get for this many?
I just drained the city of like $800 million and
Yeah.
I killed 10 people.
they
Like,
probably
That was
got
easy.
Solid work.
They probably
High
got
five.
their brothers are up
five.
at the fucking reservoirs, draining the reservoirs
Yeah.
too, man.
Siphoning it out.
Yeah. Suck and spit, brother. Suck and spit.
Oh, man. All right, man. So that's a lot of fire talk.
Yeah.
I mean, I could also just see schizophrenic homeless people doing this.
They do it here.
Because, yeah, exactly. All the
fucking
time
A.
we go
And
on this
LA
shit.
has a few.
You know
so
how many fires we put out on the Ambo driving back from the hospital? Like we just pull over and be like
Stomp it out.
Stomp fires out, dude, all the time.
Dude, all up and down the
All the
I-17
time.
corridor. Bums
Yep.
just
All
lighting
the
shit
time.
up, man. Let's put it this way. Bushes do not spontaneously combust.
No.
I don't care
Fun
how dry
fact.
they are.
Yeah.
Fun fact: things that do spontaneously combust, rags soaked in stain Did you know that, John?
Like varnish stain?
Yeah, like varnish.
That
like
will, yeah.
linseed oil. So I almost caught my house on fire yesterday.
Adam learned
because I was staining some
that
stuff.
will spontaneously combust.
It does. I walked out and my garbage can was on fire. Which
That's
was
not a conspiracy.
Up against my house. I was
shit,
like,
really?
oh fuck. Yeah, no, that actually happens.
There's
So,
there's a
fact.
thing I used to use for trim restoration when I have my detailing shop. It I don't know what they put in it, but it will if you use your rag on the truck and then you just throw it away.
That's what I did.
It'll fucking spontaneously.
I had no
combust.
idea.
That's legit.
Probably says something on the back of the can or something.
Guaranteed
I just
it does.
Didn't fucking read it.
Yeah.
But.
If arsonists were smart, they just go around, stain a bunch of wood, and just throw their rags in
Dude, you get
bushes.
some. It's a win-win. You get some nice furniture.
No
and you get to start a
fingerprints.
fire.
Normally the temperature has to be a certain degree
furniture.
outside for it to like.
It was shut in the green can. It was mostly smoke until I wheeled it out to the street and opened it up, and then it.
The hottest it's been here is 60.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, it just must have been the right mix. You know, that was weird.
fucking crazy.
I walked outside and I was like, it smells like dumpster fire. Oh fuck! It's
that's
my
me.
trash.
That's me.
Yeah, I want metal trash cans now.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from the fire.
here
I
we
think
go.
that could also double as the fireside.
Ooh,
Like, that was a lot.
that was a lot.
Yeah, you got the fireside right there, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't get to press the button.
The button.
What button?
Fireside! Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Get some!
Get some.
And retroactively, we already did that.
Yeah.
So I've got like just the tech and the rundown. What do you want first?
Tech and rundown. That's all I got left too.
All right, let's go with tech first.
All right.
All right. So, Adam, A6.
Oh boy, John, there's no A6.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'm dead serious. It goes
There should
1,
be-
2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, what A6 was? So
Yeah,
weird.
describe it. I'll close
What
my
A6 was just a headline about AI doctors. Basically, all this, and there's a graph too. It was a nice graph.
Fuck.
Anyway,
Damn
it
Cancel it.
compared all these AI learning models to actual clinicians when it came to reasoning, figuring out things medically involving your reasoning, and
And they were better.
way better. So like doctors, they're fucking coming for you. Your
Yep.
days are fucking numbered. Because AI can do your job better than you, apparently.
Well, think about it. You can analyze millions of texts and books and protocols and whatever
Yes.
disease processes and ailments and be able to narrow it down.
I saw one. Some of these I wonder if they're real or not. But I saw one lady was able to diagnose her daughter's broken hand or wrist with an X-ray that a doctor didn't catch. She basically put the image of this thing into one of ChatGPT's models, and it said, "Do you notice anything wrong?" Because I guess her daughter was having pain, a problem, and they took an X-ray. Doctor's like, "Oh, unremarkable." And then she put it into ChatGPT and said, "Do you notice anything wrong with this X-ray?"
Yeah,
And
she
it
got a
said-
broken hand.
I said, "Yeah, there's a fracture of blah 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 blah." And then, okay, sure as shit.
Wow.
Sorry, my wife's texting me at the same time.
What do you got? What are you gonna say, Adam?
It's like, does your hand hurt? Like, how hard could it be to diagnose that?
Well, no, I'm saying if your hand hurt, like that's why
It
she went to the
hurts.
doctor, right? I have pain in my hand, my wrist, like nothing. I can't remember any traumatic incident. I don't know what happened. Like, okay, let's get some X-rays. Let's do blood work. Oh, blood work's unremarkable.
Just because your hand hurts doesn't mean it's broken.
Yeah.
Well, my next thing was gonna be like, can you imagine going back to the doctor and be like, hey, dude,
ChatGPT says this is
you're
broken.
a fucking idiot. So
I would go to a different doctor.
Yeah.
it's my second opinion.
Moving on. Do we have an A7, Adam? Do we at least have an A7?
We got all the rest of the A's here.
All right. So scientists use a matrix-style learning to write skills into the human brain.
What?
And using non-invasive.
Are you telling me that I know Kung Fu?
You could know Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu.
So scientists achieve matrix-style learning, enabling the brain to acquire skills non-invasively without conscious effort.
Damn.
Could this be the future of education and training?
Yeah.
I would so
Fucking
sign
ain't right.
up for kung fu lessons. Fuck
Well,
yes.
Okay, so think about this. Like, all of a sudden, everybody can be trained in combat,
Oh damn.
Mortal Kombat, without ever having to have done
The
anything.
video game?
Yeah.
Nice.
Finish him.
Got all the whoa.
Not like that, pervert.
What?
What? Yeah, but like, what happens when that gets hacked and now you start walking around with a black market chip that you're like, hey, I can teach you how to.
No, I don't think.
Sounds like a
I don't think you
movie.
put a chip in your brain. I think it's they are able to interface with your brain. In what manner?
says
I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's
But like,
yeah,
but-
non-invasive.
Okay, what's the street version of this look like?
Oh, a chip.
You still go,
Absolutely.
I have a chip, I can plug in a machine, put the electrodes on your head, and I can give you the same. I can give you the great value kung fu
Great value.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that is crazy.
Best I can do is green belts. I don't got the black belt shit.
Hey, they say if you're purple, eventually you're going to be a black. So let's go to purple.
Oh, a little Rogan shout out right there.
Belt.
I think if you're black, you're eventually going to be purple, given the right amount of sun.
I thought that once you go black, you don't go.
You don't crack
back.
Oh.
There's a joke there, but we're like teetering on supreme race.
We've been off for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was talking about karate.
Karate is pronounced.
Yeah, of course.
Karate no is here.
I don't know what this karate you speak of is. Karate. Do you know they're coming out with another Karate Kid?
God, I wish
another
they would.
one.
That's what I was just thinking the other day. Like what we need now.
It's got Daniel Caruso in his current
Daniel's
form.
son.
He's old man.
It's Cobra Kai, the movie.
Dude, is Daniel gonna be the Mr. Miyagi?
So, no.
You must
kinda.
You must write the circle.
There's
Daniel, why
already
are you talking like that.
There's already a I thought we were getting off. I thought we were getting off of the racism.
Daniel, bro, you're from Southern California.
I love the racism, bro.
You're from Reseda.
There's already a Miyagi type character played by Jackie Chan. But it looks like he's not getting.
But he was already Miyagi for.
He did that already.
Jaden,
for Mr. Smith.
Jane Daniels is a bitch. He's gone.
Jane Smith.
Yeah, that guy. I like Jane Daniels.
Yeah, Jane Daniels is not a bitch.
He's legit.
Yeah.
Just won a playoff game.
Yeah. All right.
Jaden Smith is a bitch.
Total bitch.
Complete bitch.
Gone.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jackie Chan's in this, and he's like, I got this student. I'm not getting through to him, man. You need to teach him Miyagi-Do. He's like, can do. And they fucking get it on.
Wow.
That's a preview I saw in the movies.
Spoiler alert, it ends with a crane kick.
Dude, it has to.
Yeah.
No.
On the pier at the beach.
This kid looks like a fucking ninja, though. Like, this isn't some bullshit Miyagi-Do crane
what
kick.
is that?
I wanted to try to teach him the crane kick, and he gets fucking rocked.
Yeah.
It's like, do this. Just gets owned.
That'd be awesome.
Like, all right, your shit doesn't
I
work.
want to see him send him on all sorts of groceries and errands and all that shit that
all
make
the bullshit.
no sense until at the end of the movie it all comes together.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Remember that brick wall you built for me last year?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Lay the brick.
Paint the fence.
Lay the brick.
All right. Moving on in the tech world, Adam, play the next one, which is A8. And this is a video we have here. And this is body cam footage completely generated by Sora.
Oh, boy.
If somebody put this on Twitter, X, say, hey, look at this. This cop just fucking fondled my penis. Not that's what's happening in this video. but you can make
for those not what's happening in the video.
But you can make one. And this looks 100% real.
It looks really good.
That's pretty wild, dude.
I know we keep playing these type of videos, but I just am blown away at how good they are.
It goes back to you're not going to be able to believe anything that you see without fact checking it yourself.
I know.
Already, you can't believe everything you fucking read without fact checking it yourself because it's all bullshit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure people are tired of hearing us.
Can you imagine? I thought about this the other day. I'm sorry. This will take 10 seconds. Can you imagine at our old station the shit that we went through if the level of AI?
Oh man,
dude.
If the level of AI was what it is now,
we'd be out so much money.
Oh, you want to talk about being out money?
Fuck.
I wish I would have linked
dude,
this.
we would have been fucked.
Yeah, hardcore.
I want to link. Damn it! I wish I would have fucking linked this. Now
we would have been in country concerts.
We'd still be.
We would have been on
music,
stage.
dude.
We're like, how the fuck did I get on stage?
I don't even remember that.
This lady lost like $85,000.
Oh, the Brad Pitt girl.
Because she thought she was dating Brad Pitt.
Fucking idiot.
Because she's getting AI videos and stuff from Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
date
dude.
people fucking.
I'm sorry,
long
but
distance.
You're a fucking idiot.
He was hard up. He was like in a fucking C-collar in a hospital IV. Brad needed money.
Yeah, Brad Pitt
That's
needs
the old
you.
Nigerian prince thing.
Brad Pitt
But now it
needs
looks
your
real
help.
too. It's not just
Fucking idiot. You
it's not
deserve
just
to lose
older.
your money.
Of course.
Yeah.
But now it's not just text messages and emails you're getting. You're getting videos. So,
Do you
Dude,
imagine you get a video? from a
Scam
certain,
game is tight.
We could have gotten AI videos from a certain country music star saying
Multiple.
Like, hey man, hope you got the
Multiple.
pizza.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, that's
Dude,
insane.
can you imagine?
I never thought about that.
Like we would have been so fucked.
So fucked. Bit harder than we did. Anyway,
no, I'm
pizza
fucking,
was so good.
Pizza was good. Got the pics to prove it. Saying thank you.
Anyway.
No, I
What are you
was
thinking?
picturing Tim McGraw doing some lewd stuff, but it's not happening.
Well, you don't got a picture anymore. We put
Yeah,
that
we
shit
can make
into
it if you
AI
want.
real quick.
We'll post
make
it.
that
We'll
happen.
The
post it
AI
tonight.
models I use like Sora from OpenAI, they're not going to let you take Tim McGraw and show him like beating off or something. You know what I mean?
No,
why does it always go to dicks and stuff?
I don't know.
Oh, every time. It's just
what's weird. We were talking about concerts. You're talking about beating off.
That's all I can think about.
All right. Wait, what do you do at concerts, bro? Damn.
You don't jerk off at concerts?
Only like at the beginning, kind of clear my head.
You do it at the end, dude.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, if you've gone to enough concerts, you'll do it at the beginning and the end.
Dude,
you got to have
look at you.
You got to have an opening
stamina.
and a finale.
You got to have a grand finale.
Well,
Dude,
I mean, these concerts are like 4 hours
Fair
long. You
enough.
tell me you don't
That's a
have a fucking
recharge.
refractory period in 4 hours?
Yeah, that's a recharge at least.
Exactly.
Depends on if you're into it or not.
And there's so many people around. No one notices you beating off. Like I've done it dozens
that's
of
why
times.
I always get tickets for the pit. You know what I mean?
There's a joke there too. My mind's not working quick enough today.
Have another Monster,
Oh,
Tony.
boy.
Here, calm down, Tweak. Have some coffee.
Oh, fuck. I just put my notes away. Okay. So that was what I had for the technical side of things. What do you got?
So Adam, C5. This is called Vanta Black. So this is a material made from carbon nanotubes. It absorbs.
Camera's doing it again.
It absorbs 99.96% of light.
So they've had this for a while. They were talking about people doing car paint with this and all kind of weird shit.
I just thought it was crazy because this is the blackest black in existence.
Don't do it.
You teed that up weeks ago, didn't you? Oh yeah. He's for those of you listening, Steve is fucking so proud of himself right now. I fucking love it.
No, I am not. This was a real thing. I didn't have it teed up, but with John. John's reaction made me lose my shit instantly. I know this has been around for a while, but I thought this was super impressive. We were talking about the AI things. We're talking about the things you're not going to be able to believe. But from a cloaking standpoint, I had this teed up for the UAP stuff.
Do I want to watch the rest of this?
No, that's all it is. That's all it is. I just thought that was very interesting. I'd seen that before. And when we were talking about UAPs, I had that. But your reaction made me immediately break.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Blackest black in existence right there. Vanta Black.
So, yeah, they talked about doing that. Like, supposedly BMW is supposed to come out with that color, and they showed, like, prototypes.
Dude, how dangerous would that be driving at night?
So dangerous. They showed it.
Phantom
it,
headlight.
like, blends in at night.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Somebody forgets to turn their headlights on, and
It's
now they're
crazy
fucking
like
invisible.
they would show it in midday and zero reflection. It just looks like this void in space and time. It's crazy.
Another thing I had was so the 2025 CES, which is I can't remember, it's a computer engineering whatever convention show. Yeah. So I just had a quick rundown on the top 10. There's only a couple of them that I really cared about the videos, but the first one I didn't do a video for, but it's a 360-degree AI powered body scanner. So you stand on it, and it's got this mirror reflecting towards you.
Oh, is this for like health and fitness thing?
Yeah. And it'll tell you your blood pressure, your metrics, your heart, your BMI. It tells you how well you slept just by, all the stuff that you do. I thought that
can't be healthy.
I thought that was
getting
pretty cool.
Deep. Like, what kind of technology are they using to get that level of scan?
It's supposed to be just sensors that you're standing on. But to get that level of scan, it's got to be. I mean, there's got to be some sort of radiation involved with that,
man.
If your earbuds put off the radiation that can fuck with you,
they say
don't
charge your phone near your head because you're going to get a tumor.
But another one that was kind of cool was, did you see the BYD? It's a company called BYD. Their supercar. I'm sure you saw this.
I don't think so.
So this is an electric car, B6, Adam.
Looks like a McLaren.
Yeah. So it can jump. So they put obstacles in the road. The first one's a pothole. It's going 120 miles an hour. Electric car. Comes up on a pothole and it elevates itself to clear this massive pothole. And then they do a whole strip of tacks on the ground. I mean, the music makes it epic, but
what does this cost?
I have no idea, but watch. There's this whole row of tacks, huge spikes on the ground.
Those aren't tacks. Those are fucking...
It jumps and clears them. I mean, it raises up maybe 3 inches up off the ground while it's going. It
jumps
hops.
6 meters forward.
It jumps over this whole strip of paint, of chalk. And you can see the dust from the chalk blowing as it goes over it. But pretty wild that, I mean, much like movies, now you're going to have cars that can fucking jump.
Cool. What happens if where you land is another pothole?
You better have a double jump. Yeah. And then another one that I thought was pretty cool was cool and kind of scary in the concept of things coming up is D7, Adam. This is called the portal graph. And this is a portable 3D projector
I did see
that projects VR space into the real world. And so it's basically a 3D hologram projector. But what's nuts is the hologram itself has a reflection off the bottom of the table. That's cool. What's fucking creepy to me, is that thing has a shadow. I mean, the hologram itself has a reflection.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So of course they made it some anime.
Yeah, some
bikini girl.
Yeah, either Chinese or Japanese or Korean tech company. But the applications, when you talk about things like, you know, conspiracy shit or
UAPs,
UAP or Project Bluebeam, like the fact of these holograms, it'll be interesting to see like all the shit that people come up with from that.
Aliens aren't real. It's all going to be this shit.
Yeah,
we're all going to think it's aliens.
I totally
Isn't that crazy? So, and then the last one that I had as far as this goes was D1, Adam. This is the Aria.
John had this too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
So
the fuck robot.
Yeah. So this.
Can you fuck it?
So this robot made a splash for all the wrong reasons. It's an AI companion called Aria. It's a humanoid robot developed by
First of all,
Realbotics.
Do you have the video?
Yeah.
Because it looks like Bill Cosby slipped her a little something.
Hey,
watch
Aria.
her. Watch her.
You have the audio?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know if you wanted the audio or not.
Yeah.
This is our flagship humanoid AI-powered robot. She's highly realistic. She has her own social media, so she might be competing with you one day. What makes her really special is that you can talk to her and ask questions. So maybe we can have her introduce herself and say something.
Hello. I'm Aria, the flagship female companion robot of Realbotics.
Just a little tipsy.
What's the purpose of this? Some of our peers in the robotics space
Kamala
make
Harris
robots
version.
to replace human labor. We think that's a great area, but we think there's a much bigger area in having social robots. So, for example,
they're called fuckbots.
Like this,
yeah,
we can draw.
Call it for what it
easily.
is.
Aria's been a little bit of a rock star here, with people taking pictures and.
I think they mean porn star.
So she can promote your brand. The AI is all customizable, so she can learn all about you and your brand.
$150,000.
Is that how much it is?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Amongst adolescents and seniors on loneliness, so she can be programmed to know
you can kill it out of them.
Versions go as high as 175.
So it says that, you know, she's not intended for physical labor. She's for having
what
relationships.
Physical labor.
You mean she's gonna be? I'm gonna pay all that money and she's gonna squid out on me?
Because the guy asked her, like, can she do dishes? Can she do house cleaning? He's like, oh no, she's not intended for that type of physical.
She's here to jerk you off.
Physical labor, but she's companionship for people who are lonely, elderly. He said, or even young people, because nowadays, you know, young people are more likely to. Because of technology, not be as social, and they might be lonely, and so this is a remedy for that. She's a companion.
The latest Blade Runner movie, where his fucking girlfriend or whatever is just a hologram.
But this
in love with
companion has fucking double D tits.
She had nice tits,
big old hips. Like, she's not like your typical droid companion.
So we decided at the station,
just want to talk and be friends.
Yeah,
we decided that we were going to get one of these for the kitty, have Kitty pay for it. But it was going to be like on the battalion rig as like a morale booster.
Sad pile's no longer sad.
So we can all use it, right? And that we're thinking, like, you and I think I've mentioned this to you before.
That's
like,
funny.
You need to have, like, because no one just wants to fuck the same hole after you fucked it, right? So what I came up with is like, remember,
like a pegboard, like the ones that you climb.
No. Listen to this. So picture her vaginal cavity being like, remember those?
Oh, I feel so dirty.
Remember those things that you would put money into at a bank and put it in and it would shoot up the tube?
Yeah.
So a cartridge like that is interchangeable in her vaginal cavity.
Sure.
You finish your business; they're disposable.
BYOV,
you finish your business,
dude.
throw that away.
Launches it out the top of the BC rig.
Like, Steve, you're up.
Dude,
new cartridge.
BYOP, bring your own pussy. You know
Johnny,
what I mean, dude?
I've heard you.
Dude, there was another one last shift.
In the course of us knowing each other, I've heard you come up with $billion ideas, and you never move forward with it.
I know.
This is the next one.
We'll call it the cum dumpster.
Oh, okay.
Dude, he's already got a name.
Call it the come along.
The come along.
Yeah.
CUM along. Yeah. One word. The come along.
Yeah.
And then we can sell like carrying pouches and cleaning brushes. And
there's no cleaning, but this is disposable.
She's like the fucking. This generation's like my buddy. Remember my buddy?
What the fuck is my buddy?
Exactly.
Need to fucking.
You couldn't fuck this thing.
No. Yeah. My buddy's evolved.
Dude, you can fuck anything if you try hard.
Yes, I mean, yeah. But back then, you need like arts and craft skills if you want to fuck this.
Yeah, or like a child. I take that back. Holy fuck!
Cut a hole in it.
Ignorance was not an excuse.
So yeah, that robot's totally meant for fucking.
That's wild, dude.
And there's another one too. It's like the other girl. There was another brunette. She was pretty hot.
Yeah,
but just looked a little tipsy.
She's like Cosby.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, look at this one.
She had a couple cocktails.
This is Aria.
She's prime. Just sitting there with legs folded, kind of tapping her fingers.
Hey, I saw a meme the other day I thought was kind of interesting. If the Cosbys, the show, I sent it to you.
Yeah. Oh boy.
If they were the Huxtables, then who the fuck were the Cosbys?
Cliff and Claire.
Like it wasn't. You know what I mean? Cosby Show was Bill Cosby. It was the Cosbys though, but it was
bad.
Yeah,
I wondered that as a child.
That's interesting.
There's one meme that I love. It's this fucking dude. There's like a can or like a water bottle with just the lid torn off, but it's like 10 feet away. And the guy's got like a Mento. It throws it. Cosby in his prime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jordan.
That's pretty funny.
Across the room.
So that's all I got, man. I wanted to give one but another big shout out and thank you to the people over at Patriot Tactical for supplying us with the giveaway stuff. I wanted to give a big thank you and shout out to SkyMD for supplying us with those things. DP Custom Woodworks AZ. I'm
not done, by the way. We got the rundown.
Oh, I thought you were done.
Rundown.
Well, okay, let me finish then. And also Mayhem Apparel for supplying some t-shirt stuff. Want to make sure to get that in there before we forget.
Dude, one major shout out we're missing here though, Steve.
I'm gonna get it.
Okay. All right.
Well, let's finish the shout outs first.
To our guy who won second place, Ganja Man 710.
710.
He's he's been an active follower. Just want to make sure, give him some recognition. Thank you. Also, thank you to our other winners.
Send some samples our way, Ganja Man.
Yeah, what the hell? A little quid pro quo, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Send me some of that carpet or whatever is on his fucking Instagram. I don't know. It looks like green carpet. We were talking about this earlier. All right,
you still think about the fuck bot?
Dude, fuck me.
I'm sure you could get to the landing strip before
rundown. I thought you were going to do the quick, like, all right, man, that's all we got, so I wanted to get that.
No, rundown. We're gonna run it down.
Run it down.
We'll go real quick. We'll go quick.
Dude, Mike Tyson in the studio.
Let's start with Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearings. Adam, just play really quick. A10A, which is just the headline. Let's just go skip to. So his FBI file comes back as unremarkable, which really put a fucking sour taste in the Democrats' mouth because they were hoping there would be some dirt on there.
Prepare to have your dreams dashed, kids.
Now go to, this is a little taste of what Hegseth had to deal with at his confirmation hearing yesterday. Play it. Look at that look on his face, like, oh.
You know what he's thinking right now? I really want to do this.
I was gonna say, I wish I had one of them fuck bots. Is what he's thinking right
All
now.
four of those ladies. Megyn Kelly's got a good couple clips.
Her show, dude.
She's got a good couple clips of people like with their questions. Those four ladies in particular, and the questions are just fucking so terrible. Like, why are you just trying to deny this? Like, you're just making shit up and putting words in his mouth. Like, get over it. Like, confirm him already. He's fucking done. So we had Pete Hegseth, his confirmation hearing, so that's ongoing. The FBI, apparently the Department of Justice official inspector general released a report on December 12th that we kind of glossed over, saying that the FBI had 26 informants in the crowd during January 6 Capitol riots. They don't go into a ton of detail what they were doing there, but they had 26 official informants in that crowd.
Still couldn't do anything about it. Had no idea about it.
Nothing.
Huh.
For sure,
Interesting.
At least one of them went into the Capitol building. At least one. So that's going on there.
He's got immunity though, right? He's not. Yeah. Okay.
We've got more money going to Ukraine. Joe Biden announced he's sending an additional $2.5 billion in U.S. tax dollars to Ukraine. Throughout his presidency, Biden's committed $175 billion in total assistance since the war began, according to Reuters.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Whoa. Whoa.
The Israel ceasefire. So the whole time this thing's been going on, since hostages were there and people have finally been crying genocide, all this bullshit, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have done absolutely fucking nothing. They've put forward terms of like, hey, let's get a ceasefire going, blah, blah, blah. Nothing's happened. Netanyahu and Israel like, shove it. We're not doing anything. Trump said, I want one done by the time my inauguration comes around. And lo and behold, he sent an envoy over there and they got a deal.
Weird.
They got a fucking deal.
I didn't hear this.
Weird how that happens.
Biden's trying to take credit for it, but everyone's saying like, no, this was Trump's envoy.
Very Reagan-esque.
So this not even doesn't say to me that hey, well, look at what a badass Trump is.
It means we know he tried.
It shows that he tried, and this is the power of the U.S. president when applied properly.
Yeah.
We get shit done. Like, this is what the U.S. president should be using his power
Stop
for.
being soft.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Have a fucking spine.
So, yeah, a deal's in place, ready to go down. They're just hashing out some of the fucking details.
Good, man.
So that's happening.
Do you think they're going to help send relief efforts over here for L.A.?
Yeah, Ukraine.
Israel
Can we get a
Ukraine?
couple billion back? Just a couple billion.
You think they're going to send, I mean,
There's
because
no
we've
mo-
had some
there's no-
tragedy here. You don't think they're going to send us anything?
They don't have anything.
Well,
We don't have anything.
They have
We've given it all-
175.
No, that's gone.
Okay.
I know we don't have any because we just keep giving it all to them.
Yeah.
I think they're getting $750 a piece.
Well, Israel's probably going to help us out.
Come on, Israel.
Yeah,
Come
maybe.
on, Mr.
They'll send us some
Zelensky.
Hey, they might. A lot of Jewish people lost their homes. A lot of big Hollywood people.
That's true.
So Israel might send some money over.
True.
We got that going on, and Greenland is ready to deal. They're ready to talk to Trump.
51st state.
So after weeks, President-elect Donald Trump speaking openly about his desire to make Greenland part of the USA, the island's Prime Minister, Mut Agade, said, we're ready to talk.
Wow.
We're ready to talk. He said they still desire their independence. So maybe they could be, again, like
Commonwealth,
Puerto
dude.
Rico,
Yeah.
Guam, Virgin Islands.
DC.
Yeah, all that shit.
Cool with that.
Trump also, I didn't link it, but put out a map of the new
That
United
was
States.
awesome.
All of Canada and Greenland. He's like, he's dead fucking serious about this.
That's awesome.
Dude,
He's not
the
fucking
Gulf
playing.
of America. Did we talk about that last week?
Yes.
The Gulf of America.
Yes.
Like, man, I know I said it last show, but we are back.
We're back,
We are
baby.
fucking back.
Yes, sir.
This is
World
fucking,
superpower.
This is America, goddammit.
Yeah.
Somebody,
You're welcome.
I saw somebody put out a fucking thing on Facebook. One of my super liberal friends said, "Oh, if we can rename it to the Gulf of America, don't you think we could at least start recognizing people's pronouns?" I'm like,
Fuck off.
what?
No.
No.
What does the Gulf of America have to do with
Nothing to do with that.
Nothing.
There's nothing to do with
Nothing.
the Gulf of she-hers or fuck off, dude. We're not
The
doing
Gulf
any
of
that, dude.
Zer.
The Gulf of Zer.
Sir America?
It's America. It's America.
What is America's pronoun?
That doesn't make any sense.
We need to ask these questions. How does America identify?
Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
If America
That's my
identifies as fuck you. That's how.
Yeah.
Suck it. So yeah, that's kind of the quick rundown, the major topics of the past week that we didn't cover in our regular show.
I like it.
I would like to thank Adam. I would like to thank Steve, everybody for being here. Thank our sponsors. We don't have sponsors, but kind of tangential
We're
sponsors.
working-
We have
We're getting there.
pseudo sponsors. We have
testing the waters.
We have friends of the show.
Sponsors. Friends
I
of
like
the show.
friends of the show.
Friends of the show. All right, man. That's it.
That's all I got.
Till next week.
53.
That's it.
53? Was that 53?
It was 53, but we're not doing numbers
53.
anymore.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I'll cut that
We're in
out.
year 2. We're
You
aged
can
up.
leave it.
We've
Season
aged out.
2,
Leave
baby.
it.
We've aged out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time.
All right. Later.
Later. Ooh, I got a partial tomorrow.
You do? I don't know if they're going to